Who that family? Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that too.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Important, but is there a different sense of urgency with Tilson just with the needs that this team has?
No, I don't think that's the case. It feels pretty normal. Obviously, the process is a little different than it has been in most years, but
tonight I'll be eating a pork banh mi with extra jalapeno.
yeah, I don't think we always feel urgency with the draft and opportunity to, improve our team, but I don't feel like it's any different with regard to how important it is.
John DeSager.
Mickey, are there any positions specifically that you feel are strengths in this draft? And also, I guess, reflecting back to last year, 4 total picks, and this year 5 in the first 133. How different, I guess, does that make the approach, or does it make the approach different at all?
Well, I don't think the approach is different. Obviously, the results
going above and beyond
in terms of what we add to our team are different. But look, we're happy to have the amount of picks that we have this year. When you don't have a lot of picks, sometimes it feels like you've done all this work and don't have much to show for it. So it's good to have more picks. In terms of strength of the draft, I think, really the only thing I'd say is I think it feels a little more, it feels stronger offensively than defensively is probably the best way to put it.
Andrew Doak.
Hey, Mickey, Andrew Doak with CBS in New Orleans. I know Sean Payton recently said he feels like cornerback is a priority, obviously, for you guys to address now, whether that's in the draft or free agency, we'll see. But do you feel like at pick number 28, if you waited there and say you wanted to select a corner, do you feel like the depth is enough where you could stay put, or do you feel like you have to be more aggressive? Where do you kind of feel right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. Look, I think there's going to be good players. I think there's going to be guys that can come in and help our team at that position as well as others. And yet I also, I would say no different than most years. is that you really want to, when you're down, particularly in the back half of the draft, you want to be able to take the best player available, and sometimes that's a glaring card that sits on your board above all others, and it may, in fact, most of the time, it's not at the position that you might prefer.
Sean Fazende.
Hi, Mickey. Sean said earlier in the week that quarterback was not a must position, but where do you fall just on the status of the quarterback room and what's available in the draft?
Yeah, look, I number one, I love our quarterback room. We had a great experience with Taysom. We all are excited about Taysom and his opportunity. Yeah, in terms of this year, look, this is a good group of quarterbacks, and I think it's going to be evident tomorrow night by the number of guys that are taken, and then there's some guys down the line I think that have an opportunity to end up being good players. So we'll just see how it shakes out, but the answer to your question is that we do like our quarterback room.
Doug Mouton.
Would you say it's safe to say or fair to say that you guys are just an aggressive team when it comes to the draft? That's just who you are, and maybe you expect to be aggressive again given your track record?
Well, if aggressive means move up as opposed to move down, yeah, I guess that's what our track record is. Look, one thing that I think we've done in the past is we've found somebody that we love, and we've oftentimes made moves to go get that player or players. And so if that's the definition of aggressive, then I like it.
Luke Johnson.
Hey, Mickey, how would you describe Jeff Ireland's role in what you all have built these last couple of years?
Yeah, look, Jeff's an important part of our personnel department. He's an important part of the decision-making process that we have here, as well as the information gathering process. And he's done a fantastic job along with all of the guys in his scouting department. We've got 3 national scouts, and Mike Baugh and Terry Wooden and Corey Rager and some great area scouts. And look, these guys don't get enough credit for particularly the players that we end up with down the line. Not necessarily, sometimes the draft isn't necessarily just what you do in the first and second round. It's what you do later and in free agency, with these undrafted free agents. And I think we've, one of the things I'm really proud of and proud of our personnel department for is our track record on undrafted free agents. And look, almost all the credit goes to those guys.
Would you say that, has he brought anything process-wise to the scouting department that's kind of helped in regard?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, Jeff has done a great job of taking our process, taking the thing that we've done here and adding to them. And look, he not only, they're not just his ideas, they're ideas that he gets from all the guys in his department and guys that have been here, Terry Fontenot and Michael Parrington, who's now our pro personnel director, as well as some other guys in our department. And look, we always ask, anyone who comes in from another team, whether it's a coach or a scout, we ask them about the process they've been accustomed to, and we're always looking to add ideas, and we don't mind stealing with other teams.
Mike Triplett.
Mickey, I have 2 for you. First, real quick, can you share what you've decided to do on Marcus Davenport's 5th-year option?
Yeah, we'll make an announcement on that, obviously before the deadline, but I'd rather not use this forum to do that.
Okay. And back to Doug Mouton's question about how aggressive you've been. Does the fact that you guys have maybe a few more roster holes than usual this time of year and really just a total number of players to fill out the 90-man roster, does that affect that? Like, have you said maybe, we want to keep X number of picks? 2015 is a year that comes to mind where I think you said you did want a high volume of picks.
Yeah, well, I probably look at it a little differently. I don't see a lot of holes in our roster. I mean, obviously, we've got the ability to sign up to 90 players, but in terms of our roster, I think it's hard to make our team. I think we have a lot of talent, a lot of positions, and when you look at each of these position groups, a lot of times it's hard to envision a rookie coming in and displacing some of our veterans. So I wouldn't say that volume is a priority for us. I think quality is a priority for us.
Nick Underhill.
Mickey, how different has it been getting medical information this year? If that is different, is the information been good enough that you can trust it to make decisions the same way you did before?
Well, it's not as good as it's been, even last year, because we did have the combine. Combine's an important event for us. With the clubs, we get the bulk of our medical information out of that combine. These players are given a lot of physicals. They get MRIs, they get images, they get questioned multiple times. And look, we benefit from that. It's been much more difficult, and that burden has fallen on our trainers and doctors. And look, I think the process has been as good as it can be, and yet I wouldn't say it's as good as it's been.
All right, we'll go with Ed Daniels.
Mickey, questions, please. A year later, what can you say about last year's draft? And are there any players in this draft who have a lot of talent, but you're concerned about other things that you might red flag them no matter how talented they are?
Yeah, look, I think we're encouraged by some of the things that our guys did a year ago from that draft. Look, it's still too early to make a judgment on it in total, but I would say we're encouraged by the guys that we took last year. Yeah, look, I would say with regard to your second question, there's always things that you get concerned about. There's some things, with certain players that the concern raises to the level of, hey, we're probably not going to take this player. I think I'm answering that question that you asked, but yeah, there's certainly guys in that category. I would say that one of the things that we're missing this year is we didn't have the opportunity to have face-to-face interviews, sit in the same room with guys, have guys come in and visit and spend extra time with them, and that's a really, really valuable part of the process. And I think sometimes, given that we didn't have that opportunity this year, or really last year for the most part, outside of the combine, I think for us, we've discovered just how valuable that is, and it makes for an incomplete picture a lot of times, and so we have to, just make our best judgment.
That's General Manager Mickey Loomis. That's right. The New Orleans Saints General Manager Mickey Loomis chiming in on his pre-draft thoughts going into the season. And of course, Mickey Loomis is saying, hey, we don't think that we have an issue right there with in terms of having a lot of picks. So Mickey is pretty much just dropping it on the Great Saint Think Tank, letting them know, I don't think, we're having much going on there, Nah. You got a penguin thing going on. But Mickey is dropping the knowledge, man. So, hey, man, we'll figure it out right tomorrow. We'll see how it all shakes. Big ups to the Great Saint Think Tank. Appreciate y'all dropping by for a late show. I won't be with you guys long. I know a lot of people have things to do tomorrow, getting ready for round one of the draft. I just want to give a big shout out to the entire Great Saint Think Tank and the Who Dat Nation. Appreciate you guys being in the building with me tonight. Much love to the family members and everybody here. So with that being said, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense and entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q. This is General Manager Mickey Loomis. Yeah, what's up, Big Q? What's going on? We gotta make some moves tomorrow. We gotta do it tomorrow. I hear you, Mickey. We're gonna do it, fam. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. All right, fam. Thank y'all for chiming in on this installment of the Coma. We won't be with y'all for very long, like I said. We're gonna do what we're supposed to do. Kevin says, "Q, you going harder than ESPN." Nah, we just keep it real, man. We incredibly consistent. That's a part of it. So big ups to the family members. Thank y'all for being here. What's up, Big Sean? Who that to your fam? Joey and Isabella. What's up, brother Joey? Who that to the entire Great Saint Think Tank? Odin Force. Who that to you? GM Kev. Who that to you? Tramal Kellett. Who that to you? Brian Pearson. Who that to you? Ferg 318. What's up, fam? Who that to you? DLP's in the building. What's up, DLP? Who that to you, fam? Jasper Bowden. Who that to you? John Thompson. Who that to you? KK 504 and 404. Lady, that to you as well. Big ups to you. Ja Williams as well. What's up, Simply Tasha? What's up, Tasha? Good to see you in there as well. Much love to you. And a Big Low. What's up, Big Low? Good to see you. Appreciate that, fam. And also good luck to you and your squad as well, fam. Much love. All right. Big ups to the rest of the Great Saint Think Tank. True Louisiana. What's up, fam? Good to see you out here as well. Tremont says, Q, you better get out of here. You better stop hating. And you better get out of here. That's right. Gail Benson stopping by. Mickey Loomis stopping by. They all saying it. Big ups to you, DLP. I believe the Saints are going to make some trades. They always have to look to wheel and deal on draft day, especially when they like certain players. Yeah, and you're right on that, my fam. You absolutely right on there. What's up, Tuck Graff? Who that to you, fam? Good to see you right there as well. Much love to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. People love Gail Benson. You better get out of here. So anyway, big ups to the family, man. We appreciate y'all chiming in on this one as we get ready to get going, man. And yeah, Tramal, you can watch. No, Tramal, that's the wrong attitude, my brother. You can say that, brother. You can wish the Atlanta squad luck, fam. You know, you got brother Fontenot over there making moves. Listen, they're gonna be better because they got a black and gold man running the red and black team. You got that? So you know, I got love for brother Fontenot. He over there. He's gonna build them up. He gonna have you remember the speech that Reverend Saint gave? I mean, you know, he said a lot that show. Reverend Saint was going off. I know, True Louisiana. I'm with you, fam. Big Sean, the only thing I like about the Falcons is when they damn, man. Big Low, Big Low's Atlanta. He Atlanta people, man. Come on, fam. Show the man some love, brothers and sisters. All right, what's up, 95J in the building? What's up, fam? Big ups to you. Appreciate y'all stopping by on this late edition. Now, family, I got a couple of things as we called as well. We had you heard what Mick Loomis says. I don't see a lot of holes on the Saints roster. And I'm gonna show the roster once again. We're gonna cover that article on Mickey Loomis, and then we'll get into the article. You're dealing with the potential trade up of what the Saints is going, and we'll get into that article as well today. So just give me a second, and I'll share my screen with the family members, and we'll get into this stuff as well. So as you can know, Mickey Loomis says he don't see a lot of holes on the Saints team. Now, of course, what the reporters were talking about is the depth. It's pretty much the depth where they have a lot of slots that they can fill depth wise. But when you look at starter level positions, obviously you have to look at the fact that the secondary is the biggest need, in my opinion, based on the fact that they did not bring in a starting level caliber defensive back to play opposite of Marshawn Lattimore. The Jackrabbit exited to Tennessee, and the Saints did not do anything in free agency to fill that void, even though one of the guys I thought they should have got that could at least helped out in the interim was Casey Hayward, the former Packer and Charger. Very solid cornerback, will come to the team at a cheaper contract, could really help out. No, Saints didn't do that. They just started preparing for the draft. Now, like I've said, I'm on record to say if you take a look at the depth chart, offensively speaking, I think we're set unless a wide receiver or something like that falls to the Saints and they want to, push Traquan Smith out the way. But outside of that, I say the offense is set as what it is in terms of its starters. Now, of course, the Saints can add depth along behind the starters to make the team a lot more stronger in that capacity. But as far as the starters are concerned, I really do think that the Saints' offensive offensive unit is set. Now, if you look at the defense, that's where the problems are because of a lot of the losses occur on the defensive side of the ball when your interior defensive line went the way of free agency and trades. Sheldon Rankins, of course, signed a lucrative deal with the New York Jets. You had Malcolm Brown, the big defensive tackle, a nose tackle, traded to the Jaguars, in which he read up a contract with them, solidifying their interior line. And when all that happened, you needed to reinforce what you have. Now, I do like young prospects like King Tut, Shy Tuttle, Malcolm Roach, Ryan Glasgow. I do like those prospects. I don't think they're the answer. I think you need to add some more depth there. And perhaps if you see a defensive lineman in the draft who you could pair next to David Onyemata, preferably someone in a similar mode, nose tackle wise, with Malcolm Brown brought you. We need a guy that can, who masters in getting, double team. We need a guy that can suck up two blockers to keep our linebackers able to roam around the field. The defense will struggle mightily if your interior lineman cannot command double teams. That means offensive lineman will leak out off of him and then put his mitts on the linebacker, which would then you get gashed like a mug, being that. So we have to make sure we remember that interior position is very much needed. And of course, you look at the depth of the linebacker position. A lot of people don't believe in Zach Bowen, but the reality at the end of the day, the Saints do. Dennis Allen does. So Zach Bowen, as you can see right here, is located right here, sitting next to Demario Davis in that modified nickel package. But right now it shows King Tut right here next to David Onyemata. I still say we can do that. Now, my analysis is that KT Tanu TK is the guy that the Saints brought in from the Chiefs. Where does he fit in the defense? Does he sit as a situational pass rusher behind Marcus Davenport like they have listed on his depth chart, or does he slide next to David Onyemata? Remember, like I've been saying this for a while, that TK was a guy that started many games with the Chiefs. They used him on the outside and in the inside. He's 6'7", 290 pounds. So it's not a stretch in the imagination where you could take TK and put him next to Onyemata. Why would you? And of course, remember, he was starting with the Kansas City Chiefs. They wanted to re-sign him on a multi-year deal. He opted to leave the team that went to the Super Bowl in back-to-back years to come to New Orleans. He was starting there. So he comes to New Orleans on a 2-year contract with a voidable option in between the 2 years just to sit behind Marcus Davenport? Absolutely not. I think, and this is just me, that I think TK would ultimately be paired with Onyemata in the middle. And of course, you can move them around, but that's my thought process. But the Saints also can feel good to add a guy like Milton Williams or Tyler Shelvin or any of the big menacing nose tackles that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks when we're doing our mock drafts and our breakdowns. Then, of course, like we said, the linebacker position is something that we need to have a linebacker next to Demario Davis. But remember, Demario has 3 years left on his contract. He's getting older, and we damn sure need to have a replacement, whether you get him this year or next year. I would preferably want to get somebody this year that can push Zach Bowen to keep that position. And then ultimately, when Demario Davis gets ready to leave, you have two linebackers that know the Saints defense. Cam Jordan is on the plus side of things, and he'll need some depth behind him as well. But really, truly, honestly, if you take a look at the secondary, and we're going to put all the Satan, this is highlighting all your secondary members, you can see exactly why I feel like the secondary is an area of need for the New Orleans Saints. Marshawn Lattimore could be facing multiple game suspension due to what happened with him in the stop in Cleveland. Goodell's heavy-handed. And then you look at the other cornerbacks, Patrick Robinson is slotted to start at the opposite position because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is your third cornerback or in that modified nickel packages. The Saints will not leapfrog him to the 2 spot. He is entrenched at the 3rd spot for the nickelback. Of course, the Saints would then have to address that opposite cornerback position, which I'm going to show you a report, is that the Saints are looking at a certain player and participating in thinking about moving up to get him, which will cost you multiple picks to do that, moving up to go get him, which I think we don't need to do that. We need to stay where we are and draft smarter, because we need more than one player. We need multiple players in the secondary that can help us. Now, I like Pale Grant Haley, also like Keith Washington Jr. These are prospects. We don't know what these guys truly have until we get them on the field in extended action. And then if you look at the safety position is not totally solid. You still have Marcus Williams on the tag for 1 year. They have not extended that out, and he's just 1 year until they say, well, we're going to do the extension. Malcolm Jenkins, I believe, is gone after this year, and he's been slowing down. Remember, Malcolm Jenkins was brought here for the Super Bowl run. All right. Sorry about that, family. Something weirdly happened. So we'll get back into breaking the showdown. Give me just a second. We'll get back on our stream right here. All right. So we back on the stream there. Hopefully that whatever happened, that was kind of weird. I don't know what happened, but we're back. But anyway, let's get back. Like I said about the secondary units, the fact that Malcolm Jenkins is on that 1 year. I mean, in my opinion, I think the Saints are keeping them for convenience right now. Really nobody behind them. You take a look at guys like, Patrick, PJ Williams, who's not really a safety, even though he's playing safety. The Saints are, for whatever reason, keeping PJ here. I mean, he is a good tackler. I think probably the second or third best tackling defensive back you have, but his coverage skills are absolutely terrible. And sooner or later, he'll be called upon to cover tight ends and people, and he'll fail at that unless he gets better. Hopefully, Coach Richard can help all of these young defensive backs, Grant Haley, Keith Washington, JT Gray, PJ Williams, and all the rest of these guys elevate their play, because that will be a pleasant bonus for the secondary. But still in all, that's a tall order to ask Coach Richard to do with some of these guys. But you need to give him, I ain't gonna say pieces of clay, prospects, higher prospects, with which this draft are littered with some really supreme talent in the defensive back, as far as defensive backs are concerned, cornerbacks and safeties. I mentioned Jamar Johnson. We could talk about the cornerbacks like Kevin, the cornerback out of Kentucky, who's from Baton Rouge. You have several other really interesting prospects as well that'll be available between the second and fourth round that you can get. And I'm saying the Saints with 8 picks, they might trade 1 or 2 picks. We don't know. Hopefully they don't. And I know they like Farley. Hopefully we don't do too much stupid stuff. I mean, let's just be smart about this draft. We don't need to be forcing our way up to move up there. They got plenty of good value at the position that we stand back. And anything, to be honest with you, smart move would be trade back to accrue more picks to help out, because you got a lot of, Mickey says, a lot of holes. No, you don't have a lot of starter holes to fill, but you got a lot of depth situation. He mentioned quality over quantity. You know, that's kind of a mixed bag in my opinion, because sometimes when you hear these guys, sometimes they be speaking out there, what's, and, they try not to, well, we want quality over quantity. Well, I hear you on that, but you're a team, you're looking at it, you didn't mistakenly, try to get several or 8 picks. You can't play the kick the can down the road crap no more. You got to be responsible and do the solid thing, which is build the team through the draft. You need picks to do that. And you don't want to trade too many picks to get a player and then put the pressure on the player to represent, where you can have a group of prospects that can fit in, because you have to look at the team overall. That's why I put the depth chart there, so you can see old ass Patrick Robinson or a flawed PJ Williams on a 1-year contract. Patrick Robinson, PJ Williams, these guys are on 1-year deals, including Marcus Williams. You say, well, Q, they're going to sign the tag. He's going to get an extension. Well, until he do, he's still on a 1-year deal. And so is Lattimore. And then Ram check is, of course, this stuff hopefully will get done. It should have been, to be honest with you, this should have been done before the draft came around. Because at least you would have had money at hand where you could use it to do whatever you want. You got Marcus Williams's money at 10 million, 10.5. You have Ramczyk at over 11 million. You got Lattimore at 10. That's over $30 million right there. When you can work out extensions and pull all that down and give the Saints probably at least $20 million right there, the way he pyramids these contracts. So, I mean, it's very peculiar that we did it this way. And I'm like, okay, you got all of that down, but work out the extensions and get that way. If you're kind of nervous about Lattimore, then what's the problem with Ramczyk? So, I mean, it's just stuff that hopefully they get this stuff done so we can move forward, because they're obviously wanting to build through the draft. It's a lot cheaper that way. So with that being said, let's move into what Mickey said here. Is Mickey Loomis, I don't see a lot of holes on the Saints roster. In terms of starter holes, no. I mean, you have a few people this year that you could play, but if you do it right, we can draft guys this year and have them in place for next year and use next year's draft to accentuate the previous two drafts, which is this year's draft and last year's draft. We came in with Troutman and Bourne, because remember, the guys we picked in Ruiz, who's going to start, obviously, Ruiz can be moved to center now, and we don't have to worry about the center and quarterback exchange, because Jameis or Taysom, whoever's going to be there, is new to the position. So whoever the center is going to be, hopefully is Ruiz. He'll have to develop that relationship with them and get that exchange correctly. So it's a good time to do that. So Ruiz is starting next year. He was the first round draft pick. Troutman starting this year. And then, of course, you have Zach Bourne, who's starting next to DeMario Davis. So you got previous guys. This year's draft is 7, 8 picks. We don't need to be too rambunctious and move up and go and get other people. But let's go over the article quickly. The Saints parted ways with a number of players this season as they work to get under cap in the time for the start of the league year, which might lead some to believe the team might be looking to maximize the number of draft picks they use in the next few days. Saints accrued 8 picks. They had 2 more picks that they had that were taken away from them due to C-19 violations. 8 picks are currently in General Mickey Loomis's pocket, but he said Wednesday that he doesn't necessarily think that many spots available on the roster. I mean, I don't understand. They got plenty of spots available on the roster, to be quite honest with you. They really do. I mean, if you take a look overall, I mean, you can go up to 53 people, up to more than that for training camp purposes to find out what you're working with. But if you count all of the players on the depth chart, they're woefully underneath. And since they're not attacking free agency, obviously they're going to fill a lot of these slots via the draft, and they'll get cheap veterans on the back end. But the reality is they're obviously using the draft to accrue picks. I mean, obviously. I mean, it's just what it is. And yes, you do have a lot of, you have a few starting holes, in my opinion, depending on what you do with Tanu, who came from Kansas City, on the interior, but definitely the cornerback position next to Lattimore. You can use depth underneath Lattimore's position just in case he gets hurt or he gets suspended. You can still have depth there, and we could use some safety depth behind him when Malcolm Jenkins finally gets the hell out of here, or depending on what they do with Marcus Williams. They just tagged him for 1 year. Until they sign that extension, we got to see what they're working with. This team is still much in a team in flux in terms of the secondary and other aspects, the linebacker depth and defensive end depth behind Carl Granderson. Davenport, if he can't fulfill a full season, you got to look at that. Cam's getting older, so you got to look at, you got 8 picks this year. Kind of play that in mind and say, you know what, I can get a guy here, I can get a guy here, maybe an offensive guy, some skill set guys, wide receiver, stuff like that. You got to have that vision. I don't see a lot of holes in our roster. I think we have a lot of talent in a lot of positions. When you look at these position groups, a lot of times it's hard to envision a rookie coming in and displacing players at hand. There have been reports Saints have interest in moving up from the 28th pick, and Loomis' comments suggest there may be some fire to that smoke. It's definitely something to it. I hope they don't do it, man. But this is, we'll see. And this is the article from CBS saying that the 2020 NFL Draft buzz, Saints considering a trade up, reportedly eyeing a specific prospect. And we know who the prospect is, being that if he's there. On the eve of the draft, there are some rumblings that New Orleans could be making some noise in the first round. According to multiple reports, the club is weighing the possibility of trading up from the 28th overall selection via Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports adds that Virginia Tech cornerback Caleb Farley, who said that multiple reports, he had an inside report that said that the Saints were interested in Caleb. So Caleb could be the target in the event New Orleans decides to climb up to the board, and that would likely need to move ahead of Tennessee Titans, who took Jackrabbit Jenkins off your ass. So one way or the other, you're trying to get above them at 22 and you're at 28. So you have to give up the first round draft pick, maybe a second rounder, and maybe next year's fourth or fifth round pick, maybe one or the other. Cornerback is a clear need for the Saints, so it makes sense that Farley could be a key target this offseason. The team needed to release starting cornerback Jenkins to comply with decreased salary. They didn't have the need to release Jackrabbit Jenkins. They didn't need to do that. I mean, come on with that bull crap. They didn't have to release Jackrabbit Jenkins. You could have released and did other moves to free open money for him. First and foremost, you didn't have to tag Marcus Williams' ass. If you really, because to be honest with you, who's more important? Is it Marcus Williams or Jackrabbit Jenkins? I'll take Jackrabbit Jenkins over Marcus Williams in there. I can find me a goddamn safety who can play back there and knock your head off consistently and who won't whiff every time. I mean, but this is what they decided to do. They broke up the tandem, and now they're trying to be over aggressive to fill a need with Caleb Farley, depending on if he's there or not. But most teams know Farley can slip, but the word is out. What if, if he's not there, then what do? I guess set back, right? Well, let's look at it. Because we didn't have to get rid of Jackrabbit Jenkins. We really didn't have to. There were other things that we could have done. And to this day, we still could have did it. We could have got them goddamn extensions done fast. We could freed up over $20 million of cap money where we could have used a portion of that to sign Jackrabbit Jenkins. I mean, there are things that we can do just using my imagination here. But anyway, I won't get into it. Head coach Payton recently even emphasizes how adding a cornerback is the need for New Orleans. And I said that from the get-go. You losing a starting level cornerback. You got next to nothing for Jackrabbit. You just claimed him off the waiver wire, and he gave you a lot of production in New Orleans. And then, of course, he gets out of here. That contract he signed with Tennessee was no big ball-busting contract. I mean, come on. But anyway, the bottom line is, it's obviously a need because you do not have a starting level cornerback opposite of Lattimore. I said that from day one. It's not hard. But the reality also is you don't have any serious depth behind Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. If Lattimore gets suspended for multiple games or he gets hurt like he did last year, you want to have multiple picks there, defensive backs there, and this is the draft to do that. I also would like them to reach and get a really good safety that can help out in a futurist pick who can be, if you like Williams, you can pair him with Williams, this futurist safety that we can get in this draft as well. So there is a priority. Peyton told Luke Johnson, look, corner is an area that we need to address here between now and the start of the season. I think we'll be able to find that. This is a great draft for that. All things being equal, Farley wouldn't be available to Saints if they jumped into the late teens or the 20s. When healthy, the Virginia Tech star is arguably the top player at his position in this class, but health hasn't been on this side throughout the pre-draft process. Farley's stock took a hit when he needed to undergo a procedure on his back in mid-March, specifically underwent a microdiscectomy, which is a procedure to relieve pain from a herniated lumbar disc. Now, while that sent him from being possibly the first cornerback off the board and potential top 10 pick to someone who may be hearing his name called in the bottom half of round one, this injury reportedly won't put a dent in Farley's career, as he recently told Peter King. He received positive updates from the doctors who note that he should be ready for the start of the season and offer their assurances that this is not a chronic injury. Of course, that may not liven his stock to the point where he'll be a top 15 selection, but it does open the door for him to land with a team like New Orleans. Let me tell you something. Every team has that scouting report, whatever this brother's talking about. Every team has that scouting report. They know exactly what's wrong with Caleb Farley. They have his measurables, they have his medicals, is what I'm saying. They have full access to his information. They know what's wrong with this dude, or if he's just spilling a bunch of hot beans, or if he's burning the beans, or if he's trying to deceive. The scouts know that that's the case, that this is not a injury that should affect him long term. So if that's the case and they have his his medicals, then I don't know if I can expect him to fall as far as what we anticipating him to do. This could be kind of bad information here. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Saints are not the only team willing to move up to get him, if they believe he is going to be there at 22, you know, okay, if he's 22, we're going to do what we can to jump up there and get him. But the reality is other teams have the same medical reports that Coach Payton does. And do we really foresee him sliding that far to 22? Well, listen, if he does, he does. But my reality is this. Mickey said, well, we want more quality over quantity. Well, listen, Mickey, we kind of splitting hairs right here. You have a ton of backup depth that you need to fill. You have 8 picks, and you're going to land at least over a dozen undrafted guys to fill in where they need be to go into training camp. But my mentality is be patient. We don't need to be trading up to go get nobody. Say your stop, sit your ass down, chill out, drink a daiquiri, and play the draft board the correct way. You have 8 picks on the board. You can bring in some really good talent, especially with the picks between rounds 1 through 4. We can bring in some serious talent here, man. I mean, we can address several needs all over the defense, which is clearly the biggest thing. The defense needs help. It really does. You got an older, and like I said, Cam, I expect Cam to still be the man. He get a little older, but you got to have a edge rusher behind Granderson. You lose Trey Hendrickson, that hurts. You lose Sheldon Rankins, that hurts. You traded Malcolm Brown, that hurts. Remember, you got gashed to hell when Malcolm Brown wasn't in there, and you had Sheldon Rankins playing there, and they still couldn't stop the rush. Remember that against Philly and Kansas City in back-to-back games? Malcolm Brown's loss was huge, and that showed you what role he was in the Saints' rush-stuffing defense. Well, this defense, this year's draft could be used to fulfill the needs of players that we lost for the longevity. If we do this right, we can have a young, talented defense for the next 5 years, and we can build upon it. So, like I said, a lot of great talent in this draft. I would just be patient, and I would stay where I'm at 28. And if I don't see a guy that wows me, I would trade back and accrue even more picks to address the defense and special teams. Remember, the special teams suck like hell. They suck. They can't. They in coverage, they can go down and tackle somebody. But when it comes, I'm talking about blocking for their kick returners and punt returners. They were terrible last year. And nobody was speaking about. I was like, listen, man, this special team stink. They can't cover nobody. They can't block for Deontay Harris or Marquez Callaway to return the ball. They led the NFL and were in top 3 in kick and punt return attempts, but no touchdowns. Not even one, not even close. So, I mean, that's also an area that you start to feel toward that 5th going into the final rounds of the draft. So there's quite a few things the Saints need to appease here from a special team standpoint, defensive wise. And of course, you can add value when you add offensive linemen to the fray, and then we'll also get guys in the undrafted market of whatever we couldn't pull off in the draft. So with that being said, secondary is you need cornerbacks. You got a ton of them in this draft. You just have to be smart about it. From the 2nd to the 5th, they're all kind of guys. I done covered them all kind of ways and talked about them all for the last month or however long it's been. So with that being said, we'll see how it's shaped. But like I said, the Saints are not the only ones with the medical report on Farley. If Farley falls to the Saints, fine. If he doesn't, they talking about moving up to go and get him and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't do that, man. Because they talking about he's better. I don't care what the goddamn scouts say. I put the film on and watch Farley play from Virginia Tech. They were saying this man was better than Patrick Surtain. I put the tape on Surtain. Are you kidding me? The guy is good and he's big, but he's a lot of his footage. He's stiff, and I mean he's good, but he got a lot of stuff to iron out. He ain't smooth and like Surtain is. So when it was doing that was a bunch of bullshit, man. The kid's good and he a top 5 cornerback, but stop it with this I'm be better than Patrick Surtain nonsense. That's absolute crock. That's a crock of crap, and a lot of that stuff be motivated by these scouts getting paid off money to elevate these players on boards. Like they caught Mel Kiper's shifty ass doing that years ago, and they still doing it, taking money to elevate people on boards between agents that they're working with. That's how a lot of these guys get paid, elevating people over other people. And like case in point, the BYU quarterback, he's a good quarterback, but in my opinion, I put the tape on. I like the kid, but I don't like him better than Justin Fields. Justin Fields was at a better program, playing against better competition than him, and put up pretty good numbers. Did it a little longer than this kid did. But you got this kid over him. I'm like, man, it's the same junk and bull crap every damn year. It's about them elevating these people, and a lot of these guys getting paid to do that. So I mean, that's the game too. And I also realize it. That's why I don't trust all the shit the scouts say. I go and look at the tape for myself. Now, like I said, I like Farley, whatever. But the reality is, I think that he's probably a top 5 cornerback. But listen, Newsome, I like Newsome a lot too. And Newsome don't have no health issues. Whether he had to relieve pressure out of his back or whatever you want to call it, Newsome don't have no issues. He don't have none issue. If you like Ashanti Samuel, they say he's too damn small, but all his pop did was ball out of control, and his son did the same shit on film. So I mean, it depends on who you like and what you like, but I don't think Farley drops that far to the Saints. If he does, he does. But I don't think we don't need to trade no picks to go nowhere. Let's just do it the right way, man. I mean, good grief, man. Can we have some damn patience and build it the right way? Come on. Anyway, big ups to the family members, man. Much love to all the family members. Thank you. What's up, Toby? Who that to your fam? Good to see you in the chat. What's up, Slim South? Good to see brother Slim South in the stream as well. Much love, brother Randy. What's up, fam? All right, much love to fam. Yeah, I know, Tasha. They had something happen. I don't know. The internet dropped out or something. I think that's what it was. This late. I think it resets at a certain period of time late, and I got caught with it. That's all. What's up, IQ? IQ in the building. What's up, fam? Big ups to all the family members. Thank y'all for being here in the building as well. So, I mean, with that being said, we're going to see, man. What's up, brother Derek? How you doing, fam? He says, we need to calm down and stay put. None of this moving up stuff. If Farley falls to us, it's great, but we need to take advantage of all the picks that we have. Yeah, well, Derek, listen, Derek, let me tell you. We got quantity. We like quantity. Quality over quantity, Derek. I'm Mickey Loomis. I'm GM. I've been doing this for a while, so I might know a little something here. All right, Mickey, go to sleep. You whining a little too damn much. But yeah, and that's the part of it, though. I think it's that, we need to just stay put. I agree with you on that. Let's just be patient, man. We got 8 picks. And listen, the Saints put in work to get those picks. They really did. Remember, we lost Fontenot. They got 2/3 off of Fontenot this year, next year. We allowed a lot of people to leave and didn't bring a lot of people in so we can get compensatory picks on those picks. So you mean to tell me you do all of that just to say we want quality? No, absolutely not. You doing that, you accrued those picks because you knew that you can't spend like you were spending the last several seasons, spending in yourself into $100 million hole. And then reporters sit up there sycophantically and congratulate Mickey Loomis for getting out a $100 million hole when he the one created it. He created Frankenstein's monster, and then Frankenstein monster tearing up the town, killing people and everything. Mickey go down there and turn and flip a switch and turns them off. And then you think people gonna berate him with roses and call him a hero or try to beat the shit out of him? It's your goddamn fault. You did this that's more like the reason outcome you're gonna get. So I mean, the reality is, man, we just got to be smart and stay where we are. Thank you, Tasha. Much love. T says we are speculating about what happened when you scream out. Some of us came up with somebody. I said, the hell with this. Q with the sleep. All right, I got you. Y'all are something else. Toby says, damn, Q made me spark one. Keep kicking sakes. Now, I mean, well, it is. It is. What's up, Kelvin? Big ups to my dog, Kelvin from Phoenix, Arizona. Kelvin in the building. What's up, fam? Good to see you, fam. Big ups to you. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. We gotta just be smart about this thing, man. And I've been talking against us doing that for the last, I don't know how many years of the kicking of the can nonsense down the road. I'm like, listen, man, it's a better and smarter way to do it. So in many regards, the C19 came along, it reset everything football wise to create a narrative where the Saints would then have to focus on building the team the correct way, the smart way, which is through the draft, which we're super talented with. We got Jeff Ireland there. So, I mean, putting the draft in Jeff Ireland's hands and saying, listen, Jeff, we need to get these type of players. We can do it. And like I said, if there are really talented players, and we done laid them out here over all these weeks leading up to the draft, that we don't need to move anywhere, family. We don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to go get Mr. Farley. We don't have to do none of that. We just sit back and let the draft come to us. And if you see somebody that, wow, yeah, I promise you the Saints will get a player at 28. Now, you heard Mickey Loomis. I played the interview earlier where Mickey was pretty much saying, listen, customarily and traditionally, what occurs is when you're sitting at 28 or sitting toward the back end of the draft, what occurs is that you pick the best player available, even though that player might not fit a need. Now, remember, he was just giving you that incrementalism, sprinkling that game on you because that is the mindset of this team. And remember, so don't be surprised if it's a wide receiver, if it's Terrace Marshall Jr. Don't be surprised if ATN from Clemson, the running back, is there and Coach Payton takes him. You see what I'm saying? Don't be surprised if it's somebody other than who you think it's supposed to be, because the reality is that's the mentality when you back there anyway, because 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to get the guy that you want way back at 28. Sometimes you got to take the best player available. Then the next pick, the second round pick, they get back on code and start picking the guys that fit the position. But the reality is there are players at the back end of the draft that fit that grade as a first round, a back end first round pick or a late first round cornerback that sits there. It depends on who the Saints like. There are a lot of them. The Saints, idealistically, if they don't move any other trades or if they trade back to accrue more picks, the Saints should come out of this draft with at least 3 defensive backs, hopefully 4. 2 safeties, 2 cornerbacks coming out of this draft. And there are a lot of good ones with speed, size, intelligence. This is the perfect scenario for it. So we'll see how it all things. What's going on, chat? Who that to you? Good to see you in the building there. you got the barber from Coming to America there. All right. All right, Jamal said, I'm tired of kicking cans. Pick up the damn. Yeah, I know that's the mentality. They're not doing that anymore. That's why they're accruing these picks. And the Saints, that's why I said this is going to be an intelligent draft, hopefully because of all of the accruing of picks and draft capital, because it's cheaper to do it that way. It's cheaper to do it that way to build this team through the draft. And really, this is imperative, to be honest with your family, because the next 5 years, you're going to lose some people. The next 3 years, you're going to lose Cam Jordan and Demario Davis. Both of their contracts mirror each other. So eventually, you're going to lose Cam. And remember, you lost Drew Brees this year. He was 40. Morstead. You lost Sheldon Rankins. So the Saints are at that cusp now where they have to kind of have an important draft to kind of replenish the team for the next 5 years going into the future. Next 3 years, Cam is you're probably going to lose him. Demario Davis is going to be going as well. Malcolm Jenkins will be going next year. So a lot of the older guys in the next 2 to 3 years is no longer going to be here. So you're going to have to make sure you pick up guys that can learn from those guys right now that can carry the team into the future. So we'll see. A lot of uncertainty going into the next 2 years, even at the quarterback position for the black and gold, which I'm thinking that you could probably, don't be surprised if the Saints pick up a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round in the draft. They're big on Kyle Trask. They're big on a lot of people. And depending who falls there, we're going to see. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff that can twist and turn, but we don't have to prophesy all this old kind of stuff anymore. Tomorrow is the first round. We'll find out exactly what Coach Payton is going to do. Sports Coma will be in the building soon as the bell tick. Black Suede will be chiming in as well. Uncle Mazi will chime in. DC will be chiming in as well for these important 3-day shows. So we'll be going live for the summation of the entire draft on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And also we'll be opening up the chat for you guys to think about which in reaction from you guys once the pick is made about the Saints. Very important next couple of days, but we're going to be in here having some fun going on over it. So much love to the family members on there. What's up, Toby? So I'm gonna hook up with my people.
Mel got it, man. What's up, Kashawn? Who that to you, fam? Much love. All right. I hear you, Kev. I ain't gonna keep it going too long. It's about an hour, about 5 more minutes, and then we'll break out on that. All right, Derek says, Big Q, there's no way in hell we make any moves that is written in an article. It's all smoke screen. We don't move like that. What does history tell us about how we draft? Well, quite recently they have been petulant, moving up a lot. Like last year's draft was, just a little bit too much movement in my opinion. But I do like Troutman. I do like Zach Bowen. And I wasn't too crazy about the Cesar Ruiz pick, even though I understood what they were trying to do. I just didn't like how they rolled him out as a guard. I thought that was a waste of his potential. But then again, he's like, well, Q, got hurt. That's why they did it. No. And I always say that because when he first got brought into training camp, it was the coach that decided to play McCoy at center for 3 weeks while he sat there and waited for Ruiz while playing Ruiz at guard. And then after 3 weeks, he said, okay, let me see what Ruiz can do. And Ruiz was looking good at the center position in training camp. And then Ruiz got hurt and they scrapped the experiment. See, I covered this shit. I know what time it is. They can't tell me nothing about that. I sit up there and watch that because I was criticizing the whole way saying, why did you draft this dude as a center and you got him playing guard? And he wasn't hurt. When they brought him in here, he was had him playing guard. And then they asked him, why are you doing that? Media actually asked a good question. Why are you doing that? He said, because I want to see what McCoy can do. What you mean you want to see what McCoy can do? McCoy been here for multiple years. You already know what McCoy can do. You don't take a center and then change him to a guard and then Drew get blew up by him because the guy blew past Ruiz and just detached Drew from his body for a whole month. Man, I told him the whole way. If you go back and listen to the show, I said, man, you don't fiddle with that offensive line where you got an immobile quarterback, an old immobile quarterback there that run like his feet in quickstand, and you're going to put a rookie on the offensive line on the Super Bowl or bust team. I said it the whole way because that's how it worked. When you and it's like you go against the rules of fundamental football against the football guards, you start doing dumb stuff. The next thing you know, you start having these bad things start happening to you because you're violating. That's one of the things. You don't take if you got an immobile quarterback, you don't mess with the offensive line by drafting a young rookie to mix up in there. You don't do that. And you see why you don't do that. Because, those guys make mistakes. What's up, Original Hot Boy 504? Big ups to you, fam. Much love. What's up, Mocha? Who that to you, fam? Good to see you here in the building as well. All right. Yeah, Tramal said he breathes. Yeah, I know. That was because and Ruiz was the pick that what he got detached on. So I mean, hey, I know slammed all the damn soul out of him, and that was the one. But that's a part of it. So with that being said, fam, I'm gonna clock out on that. I'd like to thank the family members for chiming in on the show. Much love to all you guys. I appreciate y'all chiming in on the coma. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you aren't a subscriber, hit the notification bell as well. And make sure you guys join us tomorrow for our Thursday draft show. It starts roughly about 7 o'clock. Like I said, we'll have Suede on tap, DC, the whole crew will be popping in. Plus, we'll have commentary from you guys, reaction from you guys, who you think the Saints should pick. We're going to have some fun. So bring your own beer, bring your own chicken wings, bring your salad, bring your veggie wraps, whatever you're eating. Bring it on, and we're going to do it. And we're going to do it here together tomorrow on our special Thursday draft show. So please feel free, family, hit the Pro Shop, join our Patreon and YouTube membership for those who haven't. And like I said, I'm going to peace y'all out. I'm going to see y'all later. And also remember, we're going to do that. And then right after that, we got the Pelican postgame report recapping the Pelicans. Hopefully, they should be able to beat the OKC Thunder. That'll also be tomorrow. So it'll be a busy Thursday. But you know what? We got you back. So with that being said, I'm going to tip out on that. Much love to the family members. Who that to you? Y'all be safe. And I'll see y'all later on today. Today is actually Thursday. So later on today. Who that to you? And I'm out.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q in the guys. live. Make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation? Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.